It started with a single cryptic text from my neighbor, warning me that HOA Karen had secretly invited dozens of guests to my backyard under the guise of a community wellness event. And something about the way she typed it made my skin crawl, like she already knew I was watching. Curiosity turned to dread as I drove home that evening, noticing sleek black SUVs lining my street, men in tailored suits setting up tents, and Karen herself gliding through my garden with the smug grin of someone who believed she owned the world, announcing to her assembled crowd, "Shared property is meant for everyone." I smiled coldly behind my steering wheel, knowing exactly how her night would end, because for weeks I'd been preparing in secret. Hidden surveillance cameras disguised as garden lanterns, remotely controlled gates and bollards under my driveway, and a network of allies who were ready to intervene at a moment's notice. Karen, oblivious to the layers of planning, began her speech, droning on about generosity and community, while I watched live feeds showing guests stepping on grass that technically belonged to me. And as she gestured grandly toward the wellness stations she'd claimed were hers, I pressed a single button on my custom device, sending steel bollards rising from the ground with a mechanical hum, trapping 30 vehicles and everyone inside. The crowd erupting into confusion as disguised federal agents revealed themselves, badges flashing, cameras capturing Karen's face twisting from arrogance to horror, her hands flailing as she screamed, "This is shared property! You can't do this!" While a fake mayor she'd hired to lend legitimacy slumped awkwardly, realizing his role in the con. And I watched through hidden monitors as her loyal guests attempted to flee, only to be gently but firmly contained while agents read charges for fraud, obstruction of justice, and impersonation. Karen, still mid-sentence, lunged at the microphone like she could bite her way out of accountability, but it was too late. Every forged document, every misleading promise, every bribe and manipulation meticulously logged, now evidence in front of dozens of witnesses and a live news broadcast, turning her lavish party into a courtroom of instant justice. And as she was handcuffed, her designer heels clicking on my tiles, I felt the strange mix of triumph and sorrow, because the pool where kids had once swum safely had been at the center of chaos. Yet, thanks to the swift intervention of federal authorities and local allies, the therapeutic program could finally reopen without fear. Insurance restored, parents smiling as their children splashed happily in water now clean of greed and entitlement, while Karen's empire of lies crumbled into headlines, social media threads, and legal precedents protecting homeowners nationwide. Leaving me leaning against the lowered gate as the sun set, the smell of chlorine mingling with jasmine, and I realized sometimes the most powerful victories are the quiet ones that let the innocent reclaim what's rightfully theirs. But tell me, if you were in my shoes, would you have risked everything to trap Karen in front of her guests, or found another way to fight back?
Every neighborhood has its secrets, and every Karen leaves her mark. If you love true HOA stories like this, make sure to watch more on our channel, and don't forget to subscribe for more real-life neighborhood drama. Thank you.